Hello, Erie. I'm glad you're joining me today. The United States. Oh, yeah, well, you know what? We're quickly becoming the first post-industrial nation on planet Earth. Do you know why? Simple. Build a great economic empire, and eventually that empire will become fat and lazy, laying waste to the great wealth their forefathers left for them. But what's different in our case is the speed with which we are accomplishing this. America was the leader of the Industrial Revolution. We showed the world how to mass produce everything, from automobiles to televisions to airplanes. If it wasn't for our innovative manufacturing base, I have a feeling World War II would not have ended as it had. Think about it. But now, what are we looking at? The de-industrialization of America. In the past decade alone, tens of thousands of factories have left America. With that, millions and millions of manufacturing jobs are gone, never to return. We are now consuming everything we get our hands on, but we're producing less and less each year. Want to take a guess at what our #1 export is today? Waste. Yeah, trash. It's the #1 thing we ship out to the rest of the world. And we apparently seem ready to spend our cash on whatever the rest of the world wants to sell us. I love this country, but it's become bloated and spoiled, and our economy is now just a shadow of what it once was. At one time, we could actually outproduce the rest of the world combined. At one time. That time is gone. We are consuming more than any other country. If this continues, our kids are going to be screwed. Every single day America's debt increases, the rest of us regular folks get poorer. This deindustrialization should worry every man, woman, and child in the country, but sadly, most Americans don't have any idea what's going on around them. Let me enlighten you. The U.S. has lost over 42,000 factories since 2001. About 75% of those factories each employed over 500 people when they were still in operation. That means a loss of about 5.5 million manufacturing jobs. And guess what? The U.S. Census Bureau says that 43.6 million Americans are now living in poverty. And according to them, that's the highest number of poor Americans in the 51 years that records have been kept. Now, everybody has a cell phone, right? Over 1.2 billion have been sold worldwide. How many do you think were manufactured here in the United States? Zip. Printed circuit boards are used in tens of thousands of different products. 84% of them are produced in Asia. Now here's a scary thing. We spend approximately $3.90 on Chinese goods for every $1 that the Chinese spend on products from the United States. You remember Dell? You know Dell. They're going to expand their operations in China by investing $100 billion over the next decade. And they've closed its last large U.S. manufacturing facility in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. More jobs gone. Economists predict that the Chinese economy will be 3 times larger than that of the U.S. by the year 2040. As of the end of July, the U.S. trade deficit with China has risen 18% compared to the same time period last year. China is raping us. We look the enemy in the eye, and each day as we continue to hand over our former glory. And smiling as we do it. What happened to us, America? How many tens of thousands of factories, more factories, do we need to lose before we do something about it? How long are we going to turn our heads and look the other way? How many millions of Americans are going to become unemployed before we all admit that we have a very, very serious problem on our hands? How many more trillions of dollars are going to leave this country before we realize that we are losing wealth at a pace that is killing our economy? How many once great manufacturing cities are going to become rotting war zones like Detroit before we understand that we are committing national economic suicide? The de-industrialization of America is a national crisis. It needs to be treated like one. Climb aboard my ark, Erie. It's only going to get deeper. I wanted to give you an important update on the show here. Another media outlet that I've been asked to partake in, a movie. Apparently not everyone making films these days are left-wing tree-hugging vegans. Someone apparently knows when he's seen a revolution and wants to include it in his film. It's called There Are No Goodbyes, and the director has asked me to speak my words of truth in the film. This, ladies and gentlemen, will give me another platform to express my anger with the business-as-usual mindset that our government has been taking. With all these tools I've given you, Erie, you should be able to take back what's yours and teach those around you the good word.